McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles as part of a Minecraft movie meal with your choice of Big Mac or 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. Participate in McDonald's for a limited time. A Minecraft movie only in theaters.
What's good, family? Your boy David here with BWR, and I want to let y'all know it is going down in H-Town on March 28th. Yes, I said it. March 28th, we're going to be in Houston, Texas, hosting one of our Renaissance mixers at Muse office space. We're going to be talking stocks, real estate, business development, and much, much more. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It's going to be a great time. Going to be good vibes. Link for the tickets is down in the show notes. I hope you guys enjoy the episode. Peace. What's up, y'all? It's your boy David with Black Wealth Renaissance, and I'm here today to tell you guys about Anchor. If you haven't heard of Anchor, it's the best place to make a podcast. Anchor is a free app that has creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast straight from your phone. Anchor also distributes your podcast across all major platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many others. You can also make money on your podcast with Anchor with no minimum listenership. Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So if you're looking to get started on your own podcast, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm.
You know the rules of the game.
Yeah.
You know the rules of the game. I don't care what color. Can you make me 100 million? Let's talk money. Can you make me that? If you can't make me that, I won't talk to you. You shouldn't even be at this table.
Hey, I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone. Gotta get it on the daily. All I want is dubs. You know what I'm on. I've been chasing after paper. All I know is run money marathon.
Do 5 years of this and be a millionaire and go on do what I want to do, have kids, go live my chip and joy in a gang life out here in Texas, or struggle for the next 10 years. The choice is yours.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Black Wealth Renaissance Podcast. Our goal of this podcast is to normalize black wealth and share helpful resources and tips we believe will be useful in attaining and maintaining generational wealth. Please feel free to rate and comment on our podcast. We would love to hear all feedback you have. Now, enjoy the show.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the BWR Podcast. I am 1/4 of BWR. This is Kelly Rhodes. I'm here with my main man, Jared. How you feeling, Jared?
Man, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. It's a good old Saturday. Done got me a good bit of work done. About to, you know what I'm saying, get into this podcast, man. Excited to learn some stuff today. We got a cool guest on here.
We got a very, very special guest. I'm going to let you introduce her, Jared.
Man, so me and Kelly both came across this person on Twitter. Very, very informational source. Actually has their own informational source, and we're going to get into that on the podcast as well. But hailing from Atlanta, Georgia, a film industry, you'll have to explain to them fully what you do in the film industry, and mobile home owner, investor, also For Stackers Only creator. We have Tara.
Hello.
How you doing, Tara?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing today?
Great, man. Doing great. How's your Saturday going so far?
Man, it's beautiful. I haven't had to leave the house. I've just been kind of taking care of business at the house, but, you know, normal stuff.
Gotcha. I mean, if it's anything like you put on Twitter, I know you're hustling out there. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta be stacking, man. I like
it. Saturday, you out there grinding.
Yeah, you know, I just had a couple of consults this morning and just checking over some emails and working on that ebook for you guys, the mobile home ebook. Gotcha. But, you know, I'm chilling.
That's your definition of chilling. I like it.
Well, we appreciate you coming on our podcast. And how we normally start these podcasts off, we just go into depth of how did you get started? When did you get that entrepreneur mindset? And where did you start planting your seeds and stuff?
I would say I got my entrepreneurial mindset back in middle school. Shout out to DeKalb County Schools. But back in middle school, I used to sell candy. My sister, she used to work at the mall, and she would leave the mall and go to Sam's Club for me when she got off work. It was right there. And she would give me like hot Cheetos and candy and Kool-Aid jammers and stuff. And I used to sell that at school. And I was like, 12 years old with a Metro, a Metro PCS. And I had everything. And my teachers was buying from me. Like, I had an assistant principal buying candy and snacks for me. So, like, that was probably my beginning of being an entrepreneur. And then I would say when I was in high school, my aunt at the time, she was a real estate agent. She's a broker now, but she was a real estate agent, and she would kind of take me around and kind of have me as her intern. You know, I would stage her houses, you know, write up her for rent signs or her for sale signs, kind of put them in the yards for her, just do all kind of stuff, clean out houses when people would move out. And I kind of became like the property management intern. And she kind of taught me everything about real estate that I somewhat know today, except for a couple of things that I kind of learned on my own. But that's where I got my start in just kind of real estate and investing and just learning all about that and kind of running my own stuff, because I was always like selling something. When I got to high school, I would be selling mixtapes and making people playlists and stuff. Shout out to LimeWire. But I used to do a lot of that in high school. And, you know, I always had like a little hustle going on so I can always make money, because I couldn't get any money from my parents. So, you know, I was always like, I'm going to have me a cell phone. So I figured out and made a way. I was the only person in school with a sidekick.
Hey, shout out to LimeWire was the plug for everybody.
Right. Man, people would just like write. I remember people coming to me in like lunch and write a whole list. We're talking like 60 songs, like all the songs from back in the day. And I would go in there and just like run it. To this day, my iTunes is like 30 or 40,000 songs deep, because I still have some of my songs from like my old Gateway computer. We talking like Laffy Taffy, Soulja Boy songs. From when we were like, from when we was like in middle school and high school. But I used to make people mixtapes and stuff, and like that was a lot of fun, and I loved doing it. And it was kind of like the beginning, you know, selling candy, making mixtapes. It was like the beginning of that entrepreneurial, like, hey, I can make my own money doing whatever I want to do kind of thing.
And then from that mindset, what was the first business venture that you started doing? Was it your actual employment, or was it one of your business ventures?
I would say it'd be my actual employment. I worked in the restaurant industry for a while, and I got the opportunity to manage a really high-end, not I would say high-end bar, but a really high-profit bar. They make a lot of money. And the owner of the bar kind of taught me everything about owning a business, like on that scale, like working with distributors and working with different vendors and kind of doing all of that. And as I was doing that, working with that bar, I ended up going to another bar and working there, and then being on the actual management team, not just managing the bar, but managing the whole restaurant. And then from there, you know, just kind of like learning everything. A friend of mine got together. We created our own music festival called ATL Fest a couple years ago, and we put it together with a bunch of Hustle Gang artists. Shout out to Hustle Gang for doing that with us. It was amazing. But we had different artists and different vendors come out, and we rented a space out, and that was kind of like my introduction to event planning and doing that kind of stuff, and like doing our own everything. Like that was also my introduction to film, because ironically that same friend works on The Walking Dead and got me into film. But when we were doing the festivals, we would go to the rental houses and pick out our own lights and pick out our own equipment and just kind of figure it out. Like, we're going to figure it out how to do this, how to make this a spotlight, because we got performers coming and we need a spotlight. And so fast forward, after we kind of did the festival, whatever, he's like, yo, you was good with the lights. Why don't you just join and do it for film? So I'm like, what are you talking about? So then he kind of put me on to the film game. And now what I do in film as I call it my 9 to 5, but the hours we work are nowhere near 9 to 5. I'm a set lighting technician in the film industry. I handle all the light on set. So any lighting that you see, any kind of light, that's us. That's my department. We handle all the power on set too. So sometimes we're in remote locations. Like over the summer, I was working on top of a mountain. We have to bring the generators in and run power from the generators, make sure everybody has power and things like that.
Man, that's dope. I got a couple questions. First,
go ahead.
Your own festival. Like, I've never heard of anybody just doing that, like out of thin air, just making.
Yeah, she just ran over that so regularly. Like, oh yeah, we just do our own festival, you know.
So what we did is We came together, my friend. One of my friends' name is Tarek. I'm going to shout Tarek out. He's one that got me into film. My other friend, Atlanta.com. She's a photographer. We came together and we decided we wanted to throw our own like little music festival and have artists, local artists from Atlanta kind of to showcase their talent, whether it be singing or rapping or poetry. And then we had vendors. So we rented the space. We got, event insurance because that's what we needed for the space. We learned that the hard way. We rented the space. They're like, nah, you can't have it. You need insurance. We had to cough up some more money and buy an insurance plan to make sure, we were covered for the amount of people coming out. So Tana, she had to connect with Hustle Gang. So we ended up getting some Hustle Gang artists to headline the show. And then in Atlanta, we're all in kind of different circles. We know a lot of different people. So we were able to get different performers to come out like, hey, you got a mixtape, you coming out. You sing, you coming out. I know you do poetry, you coming out. And then all of our friends like, hey, people with businesses, we had different clothing lines. We had God is Dope. You probably heard of God is Dope. They came out. Yeah, God is Dope. We had them come out and, they were one of our vendors. We had food trucks. We rented adult size Connect 4. So like the huge Connect 4 game. So you could play and like drop the pieces in. We got a popcorn machine, just all kinds of stuff. And we ran lights and everything. We had kind of like a concert. It was like a concert, a music festival. We had everything going on. We ran it from, I want to say like 5 or 6 hours into the night. It was ridiculous. And that was kind of like our intro into like,
McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles as part of a Minecraft movie meal with your choice of Big Mac or 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. Participate in McDonald's for a limited time. A Minecraft movie only in theater.
Doing stuff the organized way. He's like, you can always say when I was in business, we was always in business doing other stuff, always had stuff going on. But like, that's when we kind of organized and had paperwork and insurance and stuff. And we kind of did, we're like, wow, okay, we can do this stuff. So when we got into film, we're like, okay, so now that we're in film and we're really learning this stuff, the plan is to eventually buy our own space now. And pretty soon here in the next, I would say, year or two, just buy our own space and continue to throw more events to showcase the talent in Atlanta.
That's dope. I kind of want to go into the film industry. Like, I know you said your friend got you into it, but can you explain that process of getting into actually the film industry?
Yeah, so
your first project.
Yeah. So basically what he does is he's a grip, and it's hard to explain the department, but basically they provide flags and stuff. They help us shape the light. Like if we have to block out the sun, they'll build a fly swatter is what we call it. They use a large forklift and build what a fly swatter, exactly what you think it is, a large fly swatter, and they block the sun from a certain angle. So he works in that department. They do all kinds of stuff to shape the light once I put the light out. So when he was working on The Walking Dead, I was like, look, you gotta, like, how did you start working on The Walking Dead? It's like one of my favorite shows at the time. And he kind of put me onto the industry, and he told me about the union and this program that he went through. So I went through the program and I paid my dues to join the union. And once I joined the union, reverse back. When I was in the program, they have a 20-day internship. So when you're in the internship, that's like your 20-day window to meet people on set, because everything in film is all about networking. So when I was in my 20-day window, I networked like hell. I was talking to everybody, every department. I didn't care. Hair, makeup, sound, camera department. I was talking to everybody, make sure everybody knew my name. So when I joined the union, you needed 2 or 3 people in the union to sign off on your union papers. I had like 12 signatures because I was talking to everybody, So when I eventually joined the union and I needed work, I talked to the people that I interned with. I was texting everybody. And my first month, I was like fully booked up. I was like all over the place, just working. And from there, I just took off, because once you're in the union and a couple of people, you'll always be working if they love your attitude and you actually kind of know what you're doing. Even if you don't know what you're doing, if you show up on time, you got a good attitude and they like you, you have a good personality, they'll keep hiring you. So from there, it's just always kind of been, I've always kind of got hired just because I know 60 people in my union that do hiring for productions, and I can text them right now and be like, hey, I'm available. and they'll let me know, hey, I got 2 days for you here, I got 2 days for you there. So it's all about joining the union, because for the most part, if you want to get on any of the larger productions, like things that you see in movie theaters or on Netflix, you need to be a union member. If you're in the camera department, it's local 600, it's the international 600. That's for all camera, photography, all of that. Let's see, my department, that's IATSE. For producers, don't quote me on these. The directors is like the DGA. For actors is another one, the Studio Actors Guild or something like that. But there's different unions that you have to join for the most part to be in these productions or to work on these productions.
And it's not like you're working on like these run-of-the-mill TV shows. You're working on big productions, correct?
For some, like I just worked on an indie movie, but the main actress is one of the biggest Black actresses that we have in our time. Then it's an indie film though, you know what I'm saying? But it's her production company, and she funded most of the movie. So it depends on what you work on, but like a lot of production that's going on is happening in Georgia. So you might work on an indie film or you might work on a Marvel film, and with working on these different crews, the way it works is if you're on a crew full time, you're there every day. And then they have what they call additionals or day players, and they bring them in when they need it. Like some days they might just be in an office shooting office scenes with 2 people. They don't need 6 or 7 lighting technicians. They might only need 2 or 3. But then there might be other days where we're in a field and we have 6 people on cranes with lights, and we need people over here, people over here. That's when they bring in all these extra people. That's how I'm able to work on all these different productions. Like I may work 1 week here, and I may work 1 week here. I may work 2 days here, and I may work 3 days here. So like in the past 6 months, I think I've worked on like 12 different productions, and only 2 of them I was full time.
Dang.
The rest of them was all over the place. Yeah. And sometimes it can get a little hectic because like one day your call may be like 10 a.m. and you might not get off till 1 a.m. But then the next day you got to be somewhere else at a different studio at 9 a.m. And you don't tell them like, hey, I got off work late last night because you told them you could be there, So you just kind of got to work it. But it is fun. And the hours are long as hell. Like some days I'll be at work for like 15 hours. I don't care. It's the best job I ever had. You get to see when the stunt team comes out and do explosions. That's amazing. You get to meet all kinds of crazy people. Like I've met Big Boy. That's one of the, you get to meet just all kind of cool people. You never know. You go to work someday and somebody might come in. They're like, oh, he's a friend of the producer. You turn around and you're like, wait, I know that person. So, I love it.
And the fact that you work those longer hours makes it so much more amazing that, you created a whole nother brand for Stackers Only. Can you go into that movement and to creating for Stackers Only?
Yeah, and I do want to clarify with people, so when we work on set, a 16-hour day, it does not mean that, I am hands-on for all 16 hours. I'm paid for 16 hours, but, when they're shooting, we can't do anything. So I can sit on my phone quietly. That's all I can do. So it's easy. I tell people, they're like, how you work 16 hours, do all this? I'm like, oh, I'm at work, but I'm able to do, check emails and do other things like that while I'm at work. I don't want people to think that I'm so, superhuman.
But no, that's important that you point that out. Because, sorry, super late, David, Jay.
Go ahead.
But it's important that you point that out, though, because we actually just left lunch with one of the guys earlier, O'Neal, that we on our podcast before. A lot of people, they go to work all the time, and they talk about they never have time while they're at work, but they have a lot of free time at work. Yeah. When you're at work, you're not working the whole time you're there. I don't know who actually does that unless you work with those, really ground to the middle. I
had worked a job like that, where you just for real working the whole time you're there.
Yeah.
So I understand it.
You got time. No excuse to bullshit.
No, but my job is I come to work, let's say we got a call time at 7 a.m. From 7 a.m. to 11, we're setting up lights and making sure that shot look good. And then once they get the shot looks good, they might shoot for 3 hours until they like what they see. You see what I'm saying? So we got to sit there quietly for 3 hours. And then they might need an adjustments, move this, and then they might move the camera, and then we got to adjust the lights. But while they're shooting, we can't do anything. We have to be completely silent. And then some directors get like crazy. They'll yell about the movement, like don't move, because the sound department can hear you. They have like supersonic microphones. So when that's happening, I'm writing emails, like, you know, emails to send to you guys, or I'm looking on Facebook or Craigslist for deals and doing other things where I'm learning something. I take that time at work to go through materials and read PDFs and, you know, just Google stuff. That's my Google time. While I'm at work, sitting there quietly, I'm on Twitter. That's what I'm doing.
Getting paid to research.
Getting paid to research is the best thing ever. That's, I'm like, I love my job. You know what I do when they're shooting? I go to the snack tent, I eat, and I get on Google. It's the best thing ever. Free snacks in Google, and I'm getting paid.
You can't beat that.
Can't beat it.
And that explains a lot about how Kelly mentioned earlier for Stackers Only, like how you went into actually creating that. You took that time, advantage of that time, and built that, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. A lot of that time that I was building it, let's see, it came out in September. I was working on it at work end of June into July into August. And I was on set all through that. I was on that was my one full-time production, and I was on that whole time, all through the summer.
So I'm kind of late. Did we already go into what For Stackers Only is? Okay, can you kind of explain to the audience what For Stackers Only is?
Oh.
Between where they are now and where they're trying to get to be. You know, some people get on Google and it's a little bit harder for them to navigate Google because they know what they want. They don't know what to type in to find it. You know, people know that they want online banking, but they don't know which ones that other people that they know have used, or maybe which ones that are available to them. So, or they know that you can grow food at home, but they just don't know what aquaponics is or hydroponics, so they can't type that into Google to find that. And I feel like I've done a lot of research, so I feel like, you know, let me just go ahead and plug people into different things. So they're like, okay, now that I have these links, I know the different words, or I've learned something, and now I can go to Google and keep researching. I just wanted to bridge that gap for people. It's really just an information source to bridge the gap for people so they can, you know, help them better their lives.
And that's powerful. Like you said, because you really you're kind of...
it resonates with us. Like, yeah, I mean, that's kind of like a similar mission to what we set out to do. Like, putting that information in a place so that people can access it. It's dope.
Yeah, and like it's kind of like you just warming them up and really prepping them so they can start speaking the language and really just...
Start building this out. Like, yeah, that's what it's about.
This is a specific word I'm trying to get, but I lost it or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, no, because like I think about it, like some people are like, okay, I want to make money in real estate. Where do I start? They're like, I don't know, like where to start. But like for me personally, I love watching Flipman on YouTube. If you ever seen Flipman on YouTube, you know, he talks about everything. Really, he talked about flipping houses. He talked about wholesaling houses. He talks about how to find vacant houses, owners, and everything. So like he kind of submerges you into a sector of real estate where you can learn a lot and take that and keep learning somewhere else. Like, okay, well, he's talking about wholesale. Let me go type in wholesaling to YouTube. Or like, he's talking about flipping houses. Let me go type in flipping houses to YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. I just wanted to bridge that gap for people. And there's other links on the real estate page that do that. Flipman is just one of my favorite because I've been watching him for years. You know, he's got a ton of videos.
And that's powerful too, because that speaks to you just opening up the doors for people. Because like you said, a lot of people, they'll be like, okay, I'm attracted to this industry, but they only think that that industry is one single dimensional. They think, think of real estate, they might just say, man, I need to get my real estate license. They don't understand, hey, you can build a framing company, you can do foundation, you can be the person just doing, like you said, the flipping. They don't understand that. So that's really powerful that you're opening up the doors and creating those lanes for people to actually educate themselves and find out how they can niche down in certain markets.
That is definitely my main goal with For Stackers Only, is to just help people kind of come full circle. Because I mean, I tell people this all the time. Like, I feel like it takes not just one person in the community, like one wealthy Black person is not going to do it. You need like 10 wealthy Black people, like helping everybody. Because it don't, like, I learned from it the best. It takes a community to help the whole community. You know, like I wasn't just raised by my parents. Like my aunt, she did a big thing for me, like telling me, no, you're not just about to sit in the house and watch cops all day. You about to come help me put some real estate signs out. You about to come help me clean out these houses. When I was younger, I was like, ugh, she about to make me do this. I mean, she gonna give me some money, but I don't want to do this, you know. But now that as I got older, she started showing me stuff. I'm like, damn, she really just spent like $1,200 today. Like, that's a lot of money. To me at the time, that was a lot of money. You know, you like 16 and somebody spent $1,200 cash. You want to know what the hell they do for a living, you know? And as she started showing me, yeah, right. And she started showing me these contracts and how much she's making. And I'm like, yo, I'm going to do real estate. And that was just it. I'm going to do real estate. I didn't know what I'm going to do in real estate. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, I'm going to do it because y'all making money. That's what all I knew. So I think it just takes somebody to show somebody like, hey, it's different lanes out there. Like, you could do this. You could do that. You could be a broker. You could be a property manager for people overseas, which is what she does. She has people that don't even live in this country to send her money, and she buys some property and rents it out and sends them their check. She's a property manager for them. Yeah, no, they come here. No, this is what they do. They come here and they go to auctions or something, and they'll buy a bunch of houses or whatever. They'll buy apartment buildings or whatever. And she manages it for them. She's their property manager. Or sometimes when they're overseas and they see a deal online, or maybe somebody sent them a deal, they're like, hey, I need you to go lock this up for me. Go look at it.
Wow.
And she'll go look at it for them. And then, you know, they'll lock it up with their lawyers or whatever. And she just manages it for them. And she manages a very large portfolio. And I'll be looking at her. I'm like, dang, she makes so much money. And she don't even have to like really own any real estate.
That's crazy.
Because she's making a killing, you know, and it just like opened my eyes to, okay, in real estate, you don't just have to be the property owner. You could be flipping real estate. You could be wholesaling, which I learned in the past year and a half talking to Brandon. You can be wholesaling real estate. And with that, I kind of heard about wholesaling. And, you know, because you're in that world, you hear about different things that people do, like probate. You hear the word probate a lot, but you don't really look into it. And when I first met Brandon, that's when I was like, wait, dang, I kind of understand this already, because I've already like seen this happen before, and I never really like realized what it was, you know. And so it's just, once you get in the lane, it's good to get submerged into that lane and learn everything. So that's why with First Staggers Only, I like that I put a bunch of links on there. Like, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to give you the information and the resources, and you can take that and you can go to other spaces and look at other videos and just go down the information wormhole. That's the best, to me, that's the best way to learn anything. Just go down the information wormhole, go down the black hole. Just go. Don't make me push you. Because you learn that, to me, that's like the best way to learn. Like, you learn everything when you just go, like, just spend a day in your room and get on Google and open a couple tabs on YouTube and watch some videos, and then go to Reddit and, you know, get some links and go look at some news articles and read some case studies and look at charts and just read a bunch of shit. And just like, and at the end of the day, come out your room looking crazy. You're like, wow.
But
yeah, that's how you do it. You be like, I got 50 things I want to Google tomorrow. Because once you start doing that, you're like, damn, I got 100 things I want to Google tomorrow. And then you keep right clicking and adding more shit to the reading list and keep adding more shit to the reading list. And you just keep going. You're like, damn, I wanted to learn about this, but now I got like 50 pages I need to read on this. That's the best way to learn, like by yourself, just like going down. And when you hit a block, like a real block, you know, that's when you start asking for help. Like, I can't find information on this anywhere.
And that's powerful too, though, because that's whenever you can come to a mentor and you at least gonna have knowledge, and they gonna tell that you're not just fresh and that you not bullshitting them. They're gonna be like, okay, this person actually did take the time out to say, let me, yeah, like you said, let me just put in that groundwork. And now that's how you secure a mentor, when it's either you're bringing them value or you show them that, you know, you actually submerged yourself into that one specific field.
That's the most important thing. I mean, I just tell people all the time, like, I'm like, look, go spend a couple days on Google and get lost. I promise you, you won't have any more questions, at least for a couple months. I promise you. If you're really doing it like I do it, you won't have any more questions for a couple of months, because there's so much information on the internet. And if you have time and you have the access to get on Twitter, you have the access to get on the Google app and open up a bunch of tabs and just learn. And then when you hit those blocks or something just doesn't seem right, then you start reaching out to other people and other communities. That's why forums to me are such a big thing, because if you're out there when you're on your learning journey, talking to other people on your learning journey, y'all might just talk through the issue together. You might just already have it right there. Or that person may have answers to your question and you may have answers to their question. Forums are a wealth of knowledge. That's why I put a bunch of like financial forums and things like my FICO forum on there. You know how much information is on there about credit and finance for free that people pay thousands of dollars for information on, like about credit cards and different things like that. I think it's just very important for everybody to have their own knowledge journey, because that's where you retain the most info. You retain it by yourself.
Message. That's a message right there. Yeah. Like, actually, I just said something like that the other day. Is like, if you really wanted to know something or get something accomplished, you do it by yourself anyway. Like, they had a study come out saying that like you're like 46 or some percent. Don't quote me on the percentage. Less likely to accomplish a goal if you actually like you talk about it versus just going and doing the shit. And that's like knowledge with the knowledge journey, like you said. A lot of the times, everybody, they want that knowledge to just be given to them. You see it all the time on the internet. We see it all the time in the comment section. It's like, man, you only giving us this portion of it or that portion. It's like, bro, the game can't be all given to you. Like, you got to go learn it for yourself, because anything that's given to you, you ain't going to value it.
At all.
You got to go
at all.
Value it.
At all. That is a message in itself right there, because people don't value free information.
The NBA playoffs are here, and I'm getting my best in on FanDuel. Talk to me, Chuck GPT. What do you know?
All sorts of interesting stuff, even Charles Barkley's greatest fear.
Hey, nobody needs to know that.
New customers bet $5 to get $250 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. 21 plus and present in Virginia. Must be first online real money wager. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
They get it. There's been so much free information on the timeline. They get it and they don't use it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just take the free information off the timeline and actually get on YouTube and get on the different forums, everybody could be millionaires right now. There's so much free information on the internet. Like, you just get on my FICO forums. I got on my FICO forums and cleaned up my credit like that. Because I'm like, wait. And then, because somebody was on there talking about like the snowball method and about like paying off your high debt and like, you know, paying off the smaller debt and snowballing it and just keep paying it. I'm like, I did that and cleaned up my credit. That worked for me. It may not work for everybody else, but it worked for me. And everybody else was on the forum saying like, this works. Figure out where you're spending the most money and stop spending money there and pay off your debt.
I think getting over that doubt, that's a large part of it right there. Like, once people can get over that doubt, thinking that something like thinking that it can't work for them, that's when like actually start to open up and give shit a chance to work for you. Like, I know even listening to, like, I had heard of your like different podcasts and stuff like that before and follow you on Twitter, and I seen you tweet about talking about a mobile home for like $8 bands. I'm like, hell no, ain't nobody getting no real estate for that low. It ain't happening. I go to a Facebook group and get to giving myself a chance, and I'm like, oh fuck, they out here actually selling this. Oh man, like this a brand new one for 15 bands right here. Oh man, like oh this happens. Like, you just gotta pants.
And look, and people didn't believe me, and I'm like, look, I didn't believe it either until like a year and a half ago. But then I was like, oh wait a minute, they out here, it's people living in these houses. Wait, this is a real house. And I walked into one, I was like, it's not a mobile home. And then the lady was like, no, look behind the bush next to the skirt. That's the skirt of the mobile home. You pull that back. And there's actual like chases down there. I was like, oh my God, this is a mobile home. And she was selling it for $20,000. I was like, you selling this for $20,000 and you rent it for $1,000 a month. I don't know. Like, I said, I'm good with math, but let me pull out my calculator real quick.
Yeah.
and I started doing the numbers, and I was like, wait a minute, you know, like in about 5 years, this is how much money you making on this? And they'll start doing the numbers because, you know, I live in Atlanta. I was like, okay, I can get a house in Atlanta, maybe in the suburbs, about $150, $175, and still only charge like, you know, $1,100, $1,200 a month for rent. Yeah, this ain't it.
Mobile home.
What's that?
I say I'm gonna take that mobile home.
I'm gonna take the mobile home, right? And I met a couple, like kind of Lake Death, Georgia, Lake Lanier. But they had this mobile home on Lake Lanier, and the lady, they wanted like, I think it was like 32 or 33,000 cash for it. They were moving to Florida, and I was like, like, why are you? I just asked them like, why are you selling it? And they were like, oh, we're moving down to Florida. We found another mobile home, it's newer, and we just want to go down there. And they were like, we actually bought this one after our kids graduated college. We sold our house for $400,000, and we bought this one for $40,000. And I'm like, wait, what? She's like, yeah, we live like, up in North Atlanta. And I'm like, you sold your house for $400,000. You came here and bought a house for $40,000. And they had like two Mustangs, brand new. They had a boat, they had jet skis, dirt bikes, like all this stuff in the driveway. And they had more. The driveway cost more than the house itself, basically. All the stuff that they had in the driveway. But they was living good. And I'm like, dang. She was like, yeah, it would cost more money to move it out of here. She was like, might as well just sell it. And we bought a new one, cash. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. People are doing this. And
probably bought the new one for like $10,000 more than what they selling now for.
Yeah, because Florida, I mean, you get a nice one in Florida, like 50, 60,000, because Florida is like one of the biggest states for them just because of the retirement community down there. A lot of retired people live in mobile homes in Florida. So they go down there, they may come from like Pennsylvania or whatever other state they coming from where their house is a lot more expensive, and then just buy a brand new mobile home cash for like maybe 80,000, 100,000 max. Fully decked out, triple wide with a wraparound deck porch and a jacuzzi. You know what I'm saying? And they living good. They don't care.
Yeah.
I promise you. You can go online right now and find like luxury mobile homes with like islands in the kitchen, granite countertops, hardwood floors. I'm talking nice homes. You don't even know you in a mobile home. They got them in Texas too. They got them everywhere.
They got them everywhere. I done seen them I see them at work, bro. So I work for basically a company that goes out and looks at property for the parish assessors. And I can tell you how many mobile homes I come across that are really nice. I'm talking about triple wide, got the deck on deck, got the jacuzzi. I seen these one people, they got a setup I want. They had the island back there, the little kitchen and everything. I said, dang, these people living lavish in this mobile home.
Yeah, and they just get a loan, and rather get a home loan for $200,000 or $300,000 or $400,000, they get a loan for the mobile home for maybe $100,000. I haven't seen I live in Georgia, and when I look for out of state, I see expensive mobile homes. California got some $1 million mobile homes, but we can go back to that. Hold on. We can go back to that later. But I see some mobile homes for $3,000. I see some mobile homes for $1,000. I see mobile homes for $100,000. But if you go to Florida, you can come to Georgia, North Carolina, you pay $80,000. You can get a fully decked out, triple wide, everything you want in there. About $60,000 to $80,000, anything you want. Yeah. Compared to a regular home anywhere in the United States, that is good money. Unless you go to Memphis or Alabama, you can get a regular home for about the same price, but you can get your fully loaded mobile home for maybe $40,000 in Alabama. So it all depends on where you at, but you can get them for a pretty low price compared to a regular single family home with the same features, if not better.
Yeah, it'd be hard.
Maybe they be so nice, and some of them I walk in, I'm like, dang, I kind of wish I could have this, but in Atlanta, but that'll never happen.
Right.
They ain't letting y'all pull up with them.
No, of course not.
So, Tara, when we talking about the mobile homes, I know you kind of touched on your first deal, saying that you could get it for $8,000. Because you kind of go into your first mobile home deal and let the people know what that kind of look like?
Yeah, so it was one that I found in a park. The park kind of tipped me off to it. And the guy that was selling it, he just wanted to get rid of it or whatever. So he wasn't really crazy about the price. So I wasn't too worried about that. So when I gave him my number, he was like, cool. So I was like, dang, shit kind of came in a little bit lower, but whatever. It's still a good price. I only had to put work into the bathrooms and the flooring. I had to do all the flooring, but it ended up costing me in the whole about $10,500 and something like that, whatever. But for me personally, it was a sigh of relief because I learned about mobile homes in October of 2018, and I didn't get that till May of 2019. So like I spent a lot of time just like researching and trying to like learn as much as I can. And like I was always looking at deals and I'm like, I got the money for that, but I don't want to just buy it. And then just talking to my mentor as he had bought that park, and it's just like, you know what? I need to, just keep researching and keep looking on Craigslist and keep looking on Facebook marketplaces. Eventually you're going to find something. And then the beginning of May, I went to the Mobile Home Elite Investors meetup in Atlanta that they had. And just kind of after talking to them and just kind of seeing how they did it, I was like, okay, let me kind of keep doing what I'm doing and talk to those park managers and keep getting out there because I'm going to find one. So that's when I, started driving for dollars more. And I started talking to this one park manager in North Georgia. And eventually they called me. They was like, hey, this guy's trying to sell his mobile home, but we don't want to move it out the park. So, they don't want an empty lot, but he's trying to sell his mobile home. And they knew, I told them like, hey, if I do get one, I'll keep it in the park. Like for sure. I want to keep it in the park. So when they called me and they gave me his information, I talked to him and we closed. And I was like, finally. That was like, what? 3 weeks after the mobile home meetup. Maybe it was like right at the end of May. And after that, I was just like, oh my God, okay, you can do this. Because, for me, once I do something one time, I can do it 1,000 times. Yeah. It just took me a while, like for me, I like to research everything before I do anything. And even though to me, okay, $8,000 for a trailer, that's not a lot of money, but that's a lot of money. Like if it goes down the drain, like I'm gonna be mad, but okay, you just need to go ahead and do it. Because I hadn't been seeing anything around that price for something that was that updated, and that nice. Like I wouldn't have to do that much work. And it was in a park. So like they hit all my criteria points and I was like, okay, so I just need to go ahead and pull the trigger on this one. So when I did that, all my anxiety was gone.
So did you just straight cash it out or did you sell it, finance it or anything like that?
No, I cashed. I went to the bank, got a cashier's check for him.
And you just said, give me that. And I remember I was listening to your episode on Xavier's podcast. Mm-hmm. And I remember mentioning, in the beginning you were working pretty basic jobs, making like $40,000 a year. Like,
yeah, that's when I was managing that bar. Mm-hmm.
And like us, we same situation. So like, can you talk to like the way you disciplined yourself so where you can save that $8,000 to say, okay, now I can pull this trigger and say, let me buy this asset. Because most people think that if you work in an average salary job, you can't do it. You're only going to be middle class, not even middle class.
So this is what I did. So in November of 2017, I was working as a bar manager at the time. And even though it was a very successful bar, I was only making so much money. I was only making that $40 a year with my bonuses and everything, but I still had to pay like health insurance premium and taxes and all that. Like my checks were nothing, barely even $600 every week. So of course I'm still on my knowledge journey. So I'm always on the internet, always trying to learn something, always trying to get some money. And a little bit before November 2017, I had started, I shouldn't say a little bit before, it was like months and months before I was like collecting Bitcoin and buying stuff on the internet. But then I had talked to Bees and she was like, no, like you can trade this stuff and make money and the price always be going up. And I was like, what? No, that don't make no sense. She was like, no, go look at the chart and look at where it came from. It was like, I had seen it was like 30 cents and look at where it's at and look how much you got. And I was like, wait a minute. So then I just started collecting it and like buying it and holding it and then selling a little bit when it rose a little bit and kind of making money. And then November 2017 happened, December 2017 happened and went up to almost $19,000, $20,000. And I was like, wait a minute. When Bees told me to trade it, it was only like $1,100. How does this?
Wait.
Is this the stock? Like, is this the stock market? Like, no, but for real, when I seen Bees talk about trading it on the timeline, it was like January, February of 2017. I want to say, yeah, about that time. wait. And then we started talking and like, no, you could trade it. And she was like, look, or you could just buy it, hold it, don't spend it. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, this is amazing. You know, like had that moment like, oh my God. So when it hit like maybe like 5,000 or 6,000, I want to say this was like fall of 2017. Like we was like, oh, we was all in the group chat, like, oh, this shit going up, bro. It should go to 100,000. We all gonna be millionaires. And when it hit that certain point, we was all like making money, and then it went down. I was like, damn, it's so many different ways. I was just like exposed. Like my brain was like on acid at the moment for like months, because I was just like, oh my God, there's so much money that can be made out here. Like they got coins, digital coins that don't even make sense, that just went up. Like, what? I don't care, I'm buying it. So, you know, I had made some money with that. And then just even in my whole knowledge journey, fast forward to meeting Brandon on the timeline. And he introduced me to wholesaling. And with my real estate background, after I had a call with him, I was like, wait a minute, all I got to do is like find a motivated seller and find a motivated buyer. That makes sense. I already know how to read real estate contracts because I've been doing that since I was like 16, 17. I'm just going to go and try to do that. And then I want to say, let's see, I talked to Brandon. I can't give it, I want to say it was like the spring of last year that I talked to Brandon, of 2019 that I talked to Brandon. And then right, like maybe a month later, I got a wholesale deal. It was a JV deal. And I used that money to buy the mobile home. So a lot of people are like, how you get a wholesale deal so quick? I was like, I've been in real estate for a long time. So like I have, you know, I can get access to the MLS. Like my aunt knows plenty of people, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit easier for me to understand getting, you know, a real estate contract, you know, and getting all that stuff together than it would be for somebody that has never done anything in real estate before. But I will say it hasn't been easy since, because like, you know, I don't have a lot of time on my hands. So if I was cold calling every day and at it every day, I feel like I would have more deals. But since I'm not at it every day, I don't do a lot of deals. But, you know, it is what it is. That one propelled me into getting the mobile homes, and mobile homes were a little bit more hands off, where I don't have to be on it every day, like, you know, following leads and touching up with people as I would with wholesaling. I'm not making as much money, you know, but I'm still making a good amount of money with being able to wholesale with those ones, because you can close in one day. You're just like paying cash, you know, like you could buy one for like 6,000 and sell it to somebody else for 6,500 a couple hours later, you know, or 2 days later. It's a little bit easier for me to do that in my free time rather than wholesaling, because I feel like wholesaling, if you want to be successful at it, you're going to be at it every day.
That's true.
Awesome stuff.
She got you plotting over there, bro?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, my pathway is a little bit slower now, but you know, like I'm learning a lot, and I'm trying to eventually get a park. You know, I own 5 of them now, but like my thing is now, like I can keep getting the small fish, or I can save my money and get my knowledge up and go and just buy a big fish. You know, my mentor owns a park with 160 lots, and their lot rent was $300. I don't even know what they're paying now, because I think they raised the lot rent, but that's $48,000 a month. Pull the calculator out.
Oh God.
And you actually tweeted that recently. You tweeted that your goal is to make $10,000 a week.
Net.
Is that part of your
Net.
goal? Net.
That is a part of my goal. So look, the one that I had got first, I'm making about $500 a month on that, you know, barring any maintenance or anything that I have to, you know, go fix or anything. $500 a month. So when I first got that deal, the lot rent's $425. The tenant pays me $925 a month. So when I first got it, I was like, oh my God, if I do this 49 more times, that's like $25,000 a month. Or I can just get a park and I'll have more than, you know, like, you know, I just started thinking, like, if I just get a park with a bunch of lots, I can make a couple racks a month. So, you know what I'm saying? So if I get a park with 160 lots, pull out that calculator, charge $300 a month per lot, you know, I'm going to be making almost $50,000 a month. And then if I just add in my 9 to 5, I'm going to be eating.
Nah, you're going to be more than eating.
I like that right there, just because it shows the power of knowing which game you playing too. Like, you like, okay, I could do all this work. I could do all this exchanging my time for this. and I still come out with less money on the short side. But if I stack my bread and go for the ownership piece of the real big thing, that's when my money gonna come in, and I ain't even gotta worry about it. That's just where you look at. That's just a different way of looking at it. Like a lot of people, we think too small with our money goals often. We gotta like elevate it, like how you just mentioned.
Oh yeah, because I mean, my current job, I have great health insurance. You know, I get great benefits, and the pay is great. So if anything, if I see a deal I really want, like, I mean, I can go to the bank and, you know, ask for that loan, and I'm good money. So that's why I keep my 9 to 5, because it's guaranteed money. It's guaranteed. It's a guaranteed paycheck. So they know I got money in the bank. I got a guaranteed paycheck. You are approved. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm looking for a duplex right now in Atlanta, and I already know whatever I find in my price range, I'm going to automatically be approved. I've been pre-approved. So I'm like, okay, I can do that and keep stacking with the mobile homes and keep doing all the other things that I want to do. And eventually I'm going to be a millionaire. So it doesn't take one route. You got to go like 5 different routes and take 6 different detours and add some things in the trunk for you to get there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's some people that, you know, go and get a good degree. Some degrees out there, they get a job, they set for life. Not everybody gonna get that degree. So some of us got to take different routes and come up with different plans. That way, you know, you're able to get where you need to go and get where you want to go.
That's very true. And one thing I did want to like comment on, and I definitely appreciate from your story, is the fact that like you're so willing to do the research. Like a lot of people, I feel like, don't want to find those different routes. They like, going back to your example earlier, they're in the car, but they don't want to figure out like what's the different detours or different directions that they could go. They're just like, well, shoot, my highway's out, so I guess I'm not going. Whereas they're like, okay, well, I'm going to have 50 pages of things on one topic that I need to read. That way, I know all my different options whenever I'm going down this road.
Yep.
And that's a very powerful tool. And if more people use that or understood that, it would be like pretty helpful. Because like the information is out there. That's why people talk about it so much. So I have a question springing off of that too. What do you think, as an entrepreneur, as a person who figures it out, what do you think is like the most necessary element for somebody that's trying to get started on their path to financial freedom? Like if I'm a person I'm trying to figure out how to map out my highway, what do you feel like is the best way to do it?
Figure out your vices first. Figure out what is draining your pockets.
That's the realest advice somebody that gave a lot of people.
Look, I still live kind of at the level that I was living at when I was in like November of 2017, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still live at the same level. I still paid about the same amount of money for my bills. You know, I might have like 1 or 2 extra bills, but, you know, it is what it is. I don't spend a lot of extra money. So what people do when they get extra money is they spend more, because they're like, oh, I got a little bit more wiggle room in my budget. And they don't realize, no, you already got like 10 subscriptions on reoccurring charges. You know what I'm saying? Your credit cards is already high. No. So it's just like, I just want to say, figure out your vices. If you spending money now, you're going to be spending money when you get more money. If you eating out a lot now, you're going to be eating out a lot when you get a lot more money. It is what it is. And eating out just doesn't mean you're going like sitting in a restaurant. I'm talking about people that like stop at Wendy's every day, or stop at McDonald's every day, or, you know, get Starbucks every day, or eat Chinese takeout every weekend, or buy pizza. Like that shit adds up. So like, figure out your vices. If you know you like to eat out, you need to cut that out right now. Cut it out right now. And don't spend the extra money when you realize, oh crap, like I ain't been eating out in like 2 weeks. Now I got all this extra money in my bank account. Leave it alone. You know, like figure out what you like spending money on. If you're the type of person that like buying shoes and clothes all the time, even though you're not really going anywhere, or you like going out to the club every weekend, even though you know you don't got it, you need to cut it out. I think that's the first step everybody should take, is to figure out what is draining your pockets and figure out what is causing you to not have any money at the end of your pay period, and you waiting on that paycheck, and then you can take it from there.
That's a word.
It really is.
Yeah. And with that, I think we're going to pivot to the last segment of the show. It's called What's on Your Timeline. So, Terry, we want to ask you what's something that you've seen either on your social media or on somebody else's that you thought was important or impactful that you just want to talk about.
I would say Xavier and Deanna talking about how they sit down and do their finances every week. I think as they said, they do it every Wednesday. I think that's very powerful, whether you're in a relationship or not. Everybody should be taking a financial audit on like a weekly basis. And if you're the type of person that spends money like crazy, like you at the gas station, you always got to get a snack or you always got to get a drink or you always got an Amazon package on the way, you might need to audit your finances every day. Like, damn, I spent $15 today. What the hell did I spend $15 on? Or I spent $50 today. Where did I go? I didn't even leave the house. Oh, you was buying stuff on Amazon, or, you know, you had reoccurring charges for something that you haven't used in 2 months because you just like signing up for stuff. So I feel like what he said when he said they take a financial audit every week and pay their bills and see where they're at financially, that's something that really, really stuck out to me. And I think more people should implement it.
That is very powerful. That's so strong.
I like that because a lot of people I don't feel like a lot of people currently audit their money and see where it's going or see what's going on. Because I've done that before with myself and I'd be like, God dang, hold up. I spent what? Like, where did all my money go this week? Like, a lot of people don't realize that you will eat your check. Like, if you got to watch that stuff.
$7 $5.
Yep. I mean, I just did it the other week because I like to clean up my inboxes and just kind of see, you know, clean out all my stuff at the end of the year. And I saw this email that just kept coming in. I was like, wait, I got 2 Spotify accounts? How? And I'm like, wait, what? And I had forgot to cancel my old one because when I became a student this year, I went back to college. Everybody go back to school, get a degree. Knowledge is power. But anyway, when I got back, you know, you get that little student email, you know, the Spotify now $4.99, you know, I get it for the $4.99. So I tried to cancel my old one and I forgot to cancel it. And I had been paying for like 2 or 3 months an extra Spotify account that I wasn't using. So it's like, oh, look at me just spending money that could have been sitting in my pocket, you know? So I think everybody should do it. Financial audits are great. Look at all those subscriptions that you're using. Cancel them. You don't need them.
Yeah. So overcome that fear, because I think that's really like the thing that stops everybody. They don't want to know. They don't want to know, man. So
no.
Check it out. I think we got some resources that's going to be available soon for that.
We do. Well, we got our budget spreadsheet.
Yeah, we got the budget spreadsheet for that too.
Oh, there you go. I mean, I got a mobile home ebook about to drop here soon. I don't know when you guys are going to drop this, but it's going to be coming out real soon. It's getting finalized like as we speak. So be on the lookout for that if you're on my email list. If not, get on my email list, newsletter.forstackersonly.com.
Yeah. And tell them where else they can find you at on everything else. Like if you're on Twitter, Instagram, wherever, let them know where they can keep you.
You can find me on Twitter at Phoenix Terra Nova. It's FIENIX Terra Nova, TARANOVA. For all the people, I know it's a little bit hard. I had to pause for that one. But you can find me at Phoenix Terra Nova on Twitter. ForStackersOnly.com. You can find me at ForStackersOnly on Twitter as well. The Stack Store, you can get all the For Stackers Only gear at thestackstore.com. Be on the lookout for the mobile home ebook guide. It's going to be great. I put everything in there that I've learned in my short journey, like everything that I'd use, you know, to find mobile homes in there. So I want everybody to have it. It'll be dropped first to my email list subscribers, and then I'll probably drop it on the timeline for you guys to pick up.
So let us know.
I got a question. I got a question.
Go ahead.
Where do I find one of them fly ass For Stackers Only hoodies? And when are they
okay, so they're sold out right now, but I'm about to restock them here. I just got the email from the lady that does my apparel. She was on vacation. So, you know, I like to honor people's vacation, let them spend time with their family. But when she gets back here, she's going to have my hoodies for me real soon, and they'll be on thestackstore.com.
That's a bet. Everybody go check that out too, the Stack Store.
I'll let you guys know when they're ready. I'll send you the link.
Bet. Appreciate you, because them hoodies is fire.
Thank you.
Well, Tara, we definitely appreciate you coming on the show and dropping gems for the people. Before we wrap up, we're going to hop into a couple of housekeeping items. first and foremost, just want to continue to thank everybody that listens and supports the podcast. The growth is continuing to be amazing. We just really, really glad that this message can reach you guys and you're spreading it the way you do. So can you please make sure to like, share, subscribe, all that. Yeah, we continue to share the podcast and help us grow.
Also, y'all definitely just check out, like we said before, the budgeting spreadsheet. Y'all tap into that. It's going to help you take care of your finances and really audit your finances like we were just talking about on the episode. And you can really figure out where you're spending your money at. Like she said, you need to figure out what is your vices. So you're going to be able to figure out what you're spending most of your money on and where you get most of your income coming in from. Besides that, we just want to say thank y'all for listening. And this is Black Wealth Renaissance signing out. Peace.
I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone. Gotta get it on the daily. All I want is dubs. You know what I'm on. I've been chasing after paper. All I know is run money marathons. I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone. Gotta get it on the daily. All I want is dubs. You know what I'm on. I've been chasing after paper. All I know is run money marathons.
McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles as part of a Minecraft movie meal with your choice of Big Mac or 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. Participate in McDonald's for a limited time. A Minecraft movie only in theaters.